The lights flickered in the control room of the USS Valiant, a nuclear submarine buried beneath hundreds of feet of dark, suffocating ocean. The air was thick with tension, the kind that makes even seasoned officers whisper instead of speak. Warning alarms echoed through the steel corridors, and red lights painted the crew's faces in streaks of fear. Deep inside the hull, the reactor, the heart of the vessel, was failing. The captain stood still, eyes locked on the trembling control panels, her pulse thundering like the sea above. Captain Elise Monroe had seen battle, storms, and loss. But this was different. This was a ticking death sentence. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I love knowing who's listening. The chief engineer's voice cracked over the intercom. "Ma'am, the coolant regulator's gone. Every minute we wait, the core heats faster." Elise's jaw clenched. She knew the math. 23 minutes before the reactor went critical. 23 minutes before the ocean floor became their grave. The best minds on board had tried everything. Every protocol. Every emergency bypass. Nothing worked. Then came the whisper. A memory she'd buried deep. A name she hadn't said in years. Nathan Cade. The man who once built the fail-safe system they now couldn't access. And the man she'd driven away. He was a genius, unpredictable, infuriating, and once, the person she'd trusted more than anyone. She thought she'd never see him again. She was wrong. Far above the Atlantic, a helicopter cut through the wind, carrying the one man Elise hoped could save them. Nathan sat silent, eyes fixed on the horizon. He hadn't worn a uniform in years, exiled by his own brilliance after breaking too many rules in pursuit of perfection. When he finally stepped onto the deck of the Valiant, the crew's murmurs rippled through the air. He looked out of place, his scruffy beard and faded flight jacket a sharp contrast to the navy blue around him. But his eyes, sharp, calculating, familiar, were the same. "Elise," he said simply. No salute, no formality, just the weight of a past unresolved. She met his gaze, every unspoken word between them humming like static. "We're out of time," she replied. Inside the reactor chamber, the air shimmered with heat. Tools clattered. Wires sparked. Nathan moved like a man possessed, his mind decades ahead of the manual. His fingers danced across circuits, his voice a quiet storm of command. "You rerouted the coolant manually?" he asked the engineer beside him. "Yes, sir. It didn't hold." Nathan's lips tightened. "Then we're doing this my way." Elise watched from the glass window above. Sweat beaded on her forehead as the temperature warning climbed higher. She saw in Nathan the same reckless fire that once terrified and fascinated her. The crew held their breath as he dismantled the control relay, a maneuver forbidden under naval protocol. Sparks burst. The chamber filled with light. Then silence. For a heartbeat, no one moved. The hum of the reactor dropped to a low, steady rhythm. The screens flickered green, stabilized. The ship, and everyone on it, was safe. But the silence wasn't relief yet. Nathan staggered backward, coughing from the fumes, his hands scorched. Elise ran in, her voice breaking as she called his name. He smiled faintly, his voice hoarse. "Told you. I'd fix it." The crew erupted into applause, but Elise's eyes stayed locked on him, filled with something between gratitude and sorrow. Later, as the submarine surfaced under a bruised dawn, she found him alone on the deck, staring at the endless horizon. "You could have died," she said softly. He turned, the sea wind brushing his hair back. "I already did once," he replied. "The day I left this ship." She wanted to say 100 things, apologies, promises, the truth she never spoke. But instead, she whispered, "Thank you." He nodded, eyes softening. "Just don't forget me this time, Captain." As the sun broke through the waves, its light spilling over the steel hull, Elise realized something profound. Sometimes, the people who leave us aren't gone. They're just waiting for the moment we truly need them, because genius may fade, but courage and love never do. And somewhere deep in the ocean, beneath layers of pressure and silence, kindness found its way back. Because what's lost isn't gone. It's only waiting to be remembered. If this story moved you, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And make sure to subscribe for more stories about courage, redemption, and the power of second chances.